Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live at 5.
We begin with breaking news for you out of South Fargo. It's near Island Park and Dyke West. Emergency crews are on the scene of a two-car crash with injuries. We don't know how serious yet, but it involves 2 adults and 3 children. The circumstances surrounding the crash are being investigated. The wreck is on 4th Street South between 2nd Street and 6th Avenue. Rescue crews had to free one of the injured from a vehicle. A Valley News Live reporter is on scene and working to get more details now. Stay with us here on Valley News Live and valleynewslive.com for the very latest. An investigation is underway in West Fargo after a child on a bike was hit by an SUV. It happened around noon today at 7th Street and 4th Avenue South, right across from the West Fargo Police Department. According to family, the boy is 8 years old. The extent of his injuries are unknown at this time. We talk with concerned residents who live on the street where the accident happened tonight at 9 on the Fargo CW and Valley News Live 10 at 10. A 71-year-old man is dead following a farming accident in Sargent County. This morning, emergency responders were sent to rural Brampton, North Dakota after a local farmer alerted authorities about a man who was trapped in a grain bin containing corn. Emergency personnel and area residents pulled the man from the bin, but life-saving efforts were unsuccessful. The man was pronounced dead at the scene. The accident remains under investigation. Neighbors in Grandin are concerned after local teens and adults have been breaking into the town's abandoned school gym. They say it's been happening on and off for the last year, no matter how many times the locks are fixed or changed. Valley News Team's crime and safety reporter Bailey Hurley talked with the building's property manager today, who says she's just worried someone might get hurt if the break-ins don't stop.
My main concern is that the kids are in there and it's an old building. They could get hurt. Nobody would know it, for I don't know how, days.
It's closed and locked up now, but that wasn't the case on Sunday morning.
Yeah, someone called me and said, "Why is the door open?" I said, "Not supposed to be."
Zuther says both doors were pried wide open, but that's not even the first time something like this has happened.
Yeah, and we've been locking it up and trying to secure it, but somehow somebody gets it open.
However, Zuther says she hasn't ever called the police, saying it's usually too late as those behind the break-ins are already long gone.
I don't think it's nothing major, but when the one resident seeing what she said was adults, then that kind of scares me more than just kids being kids.
She says she's never seen any drugs or alcohol bottles left behind, but she also says she doesn't really investigate either, and for good reason.
Oh, yeah. No, I don't even like going in there. Just dead animals.
Okay.
It's nasty. That's why I don't understand what children are in there, or even adults.
So now Zuther is calling on parents in the area to be more aware of where their kids are going and to let them know the dangers of hanging out inside this old school gym.
It should be torn down. It really should be.
In Grandin, Bailey Hurley, Valley News Live.
If you have any information on these incidents, you can call dispatch. That number is 701-451-7660. A cool summer day today with much different temperatures than what we saw a couple weeks ago. Let's see how much we're cooling down this evening in your no-wait weather with meteorologist Justin Fanfarelli. Justin?
And thank you, Melanie. Good evening, everybody. As temperatures about 10 to 15 degrees below average for this time of year. Here are the current temperatures outside, only across the 60s as you make your way into the viewing area. Lower 60s into Lakes Country, some upper 60s from the Red River points off to the west right now. And temperatures are cool because of a northerly wind, a little breezy, especially into Lakes Country. Winds of 10 to 25 miles per hour. We are mainly clear with mostly sunny skies across most of the viewing area, with just a thunderstorm just off to the west of Ellendale and Edgeley. That will be the story this evening. Mainly clear skies, temperatures falling back from the 60s into the 50s. Now we're going to stay cool for most of the next week, and it could be an active week week ahead. We'll have the full details in the 7-day forecast. Now, let's check in with Hutch Johnson at the Cashwise Backyard Barbecue.
Justin, I got to tell you, it's a beautiful evening. Yes, it's cooler, but a nice little breeze for Cashwise Backyard Barbecue. We're here in South Fargo with this week's winner, Kay Macy. Kay, where did you sign up to win?
Cashwise, South Fargo, off of 52nd Avenue.
Very good. And who is this ravenously hungry, raucous crowd that you invited here?
Lots of friends and a daughter and granddaughter.
All right. Is everybody hungry? Yeah. All right. Appetite for Cashwise steak? Okay, yeah, so is mine. My appetite is right up there. I look forward to this every week. Coming up here in a little bit after the main weather segment, we'll check in with Cashwise to see what they have in store for you if you want to do some grilling for Father's Day this upcoming weekend. But for now, we have chips down. Clean up on aisle 1 here. We'll get that taken care of real quick. For now, Melanie, we'll toss it back into the studio to you.
Okay, thank you, Hutch. One man is now in custody after police say he ran from them in Hawley. Officials with the Clay County Sheriff's Department tell us authorities were in town searching for a man involved in a domestic situation. Viewers tell Valley News Live there was a large police presence on the west side of town, causing concern for people living in the area. Stay with us here on Valley News Live as we continue to gather more information on this story. Bemidji police want your help finding a missing 15-year-old boy. Azyril Eisman was last seen on Friday, June 7th in the northwest part of town. Police say it looks like he left voluntarily with a friend. He's about 5 foot 4 inches tall and weighs around 140 pounds. He was last seen wearing a blue Nike shirt, black pants, and blue Nike tennis shoes. Authorities say he may be around Redby, Minnesota. You're urged to call police if you have any information on him. A woman in Moorhead contacted our whistleblower hotline to complain about some housework. Carlene Schmick says she's having trouble with a Grand Forks contractor who hasn't fulfilled his end of the bargain after receiving nearly $40,000 in payment. Schmick says she moved to the area from Florida to be closer to her daughter and grandbaby. Contracts we've seen show she entered into agreements for housework with Team Lawn and Landscape and Vaughn Construction. Both are owned by the same man.
I believe in people. And they really did a bad thing here with me because nothing's done. And I just don't know who else to go to but you guys.
Coming up on Valley News Live 10 at 10, you'll learn how our investigation led to the North Dakota Attorney General's office to get involved. Summer school isn't just for academics, and it isn't just for students anymore either. There's a summer program in Moorhead that's helping students with challenging behaviors and their families. But as the need for the program rises, its funding takes a fall. Valley News Team's Veronica Marshall explains.
Summer can be a time for relaxing and forgetting for students, but not for all Moorhead Public Schools students and families, thanks to the district's partnership with Solutions.
They're working with our families, of course, so it's important for us to see our families succeed as well. So that's why we give Solutions a space to use.
The program helps students with complex behaviors and their families learn new skills to make the next school year even better, with fewer outbursts and distractions and more learning opportunities and friendships.
It's for kids who have some pretty significant social deficits, anxiety, depression, ADHD, oppositional defiant disorder, or disruptive behavior disorder.
I go into their classrooms with them. I provide skills such as help them do problem solving, coach them through calming down, do a lot of role plays, help them take breaks just so that they can be in that classroom environment with their peers.
And the program has been a success.
We see about an 85% reduction in overall behaviors with kids when the parents are involved in the parent component and the child is involved in the Dynaschool component. And we see about a 55% reduction if the child is the only one that does the program.
But it isn't cheap. And as the need for services like these continue to rise, part of Solutions funding is falling. The United Way, one of the program's sponsors, has changed its funding structure. Now, Solutions program is receiving fewer resources, and leaders are concerned about how this will impact local families.
With the loss of funding, of course, we would have a decreased number of students seen, and it would impact those kids.
It's an expensive program, and most people would not be able to afford it, and so it's important that we have grant funding and other kinds of funding streams to be able to support that.
Solutions staff say despite the setback, they plan to search for new partners so they can continue to help local students succeed.
I just see more kids being referred in the school, so yes, I would say it's a very in high demand, and it's important that we continue to serve the clients in this community.
In Moorhead, Veronica Marshall, Valley News Live.
Solutions staff also say 95% of parents report having better relationships with their children after completing the program. Family, friends, and those inspired by her journey are mourning the loss of a pro runner from Perham, Minnesota. Gabrielle Grunwald's husband says she died last night. Grunwald had battled cancer 4 times in her life, including liver cancer, which doctors found back in 2016. Her liver function took a turn for the worst late Saturday night, and her family placed her in comfort care the next day. Grunwald was a state high school champion in the 800-meter run, then went on to run for the University of Minnesota Gophers, winning several Big Ten championships with the team, and was named an All-American before turning pro in 2010. Today, Blue Cross Blue Shield hosted its 2nd annual Eat United food truck feed. There was live music and plenty of food from several local vendors around the FM area. Organizers say last year's inaugural event raised over $1,500 to help benefit the United Way of Cass Clay.
60 pounds of macaroni and cheese, I think it was 100 pounds of pork, and it all went out within 2 hours. We do a lot for our community. We do a lot with the FFA out in Holly, so we like to support our community.
Officials say a second food truck event will take place on August 28th with a variety of different vendors.